Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Why do trees talk?
Why are there dinosaurs?
Why do people die meaningless deaths?
Is there other life in the universe?
Why do I have to be monogamous?
Do you want answers? Have you searched literature and philosophy for meaning? For years, man has combed the pages of history, searching for enlightenment. Finally, the answers are here. We at the Epsilon program know religion is a deeply personal experience. Join us, and you will be brought to light. Kiflam. I'm the Honorable Chris Formage. All you have to do is read and understand the Epsilon Tract, and the secrets of the universe will be open to you. The Epsilon program. This time, God, it's personal.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. It's episode 414, and I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt, and I'm pumped for the show today, and another person who's pumped for the show, as always, because he's always here with us. It's the Light Bearer, the Light Bringer, the Beastmaster, Third Shift. It's Eric, and he's here to tell us how his week was this week. Hey, Eric, what you been up to this week? I only see two things. It's on the show notes. What have you even been doing? What do you do? What do you even do anymore?
Hello! What do? I do nothing. I do whatever I'm told to do. That's what I do. So it's been another beautiful week. We went camping, folks. You should have known it was coming. I went camping. Went to Grand Haven. It was raining all weekend. We had like all these pockets and openings where we could do stuff, and then we'd have to run back inside when the rain and the storm started brewing. But we still had a lot of fun. Even in those pockets, we got out. We went go-karting. We went golfing. We just had some walks, sat around, just chit-chatted, made a fire, had some s'mores. We did what you do when you go camping. It was a good time all in all. And while I was out there, I got to play some Persona 3. We kept making progress on that. However, I'm messing this up. Well, I'm not messing this up, but the game is messing this up. Because in Persona 3, they've got this mechanic where it's like, a person got lost in Tartarus, you got to go save them. Everybody knows the way you play this game in all Persona games is you go in and you go all the way to the top in one go. And then you don't go back. You don't go back. Unless you want one extra day to like just grind and overpower everything. If you feel the need for that, fine. That's okay. So that's 2 whole days, period, in Tartarus or whatever you want to call your dungeon experience. That's not happening in this. They're breaking the rules of Persona right now. Because I went all the way to the top. I got out. Next day they go, hey, somebody's lost in Tartarus. And I went, all right, well, I'll give it a couple days because I wanted to do some other stuff. Gave it like 2 or 3 days. Then I went, well, nobody's saying anything else. I guess we'll go just grind in Tartarus. Went to Tartarus, saved the person, grinded all the way till, most of my peeps were low on SP the way you do. Then I left. Cool. Went through a couple days, having fun. Loving the game, having a great time. Hey, somebody's in Tartarus. I went, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. You do not make me go a third time in Tartarus. This is against the rules. You broke the damn rules. You broke them. So now I'm mad because I had to go in a third time to go save this person and grind again when I don't need to because I'm so freaking powerful and overleveled right now. It's stupid. And meanwhile, I can't get my freaking academics up to 6. So you're wasting another day. I could have been studying or going to the academics little shop or Watatu or whatever it's called.
Well, I'll give you 3 things on this one, Eric.
Oh.
1, you need that money. You need that equipment for everybody because you're spaz like I am.
I already have it.
No, you won't eventually, though. You will need that big money. 2, what was 2 going to be?
He already forgot. He knows there ain't 2.
No. 2, the max times that people go into Tartarus per full moon is 2. So for going forward, just don't go in until somebody's in there.
Until the peeps are in.
And then you'll have an extra day and just go, oh, it's only 2 days. Blah, 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 blah. 3 is that your nights become so wide open, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Like I've told you, the academics thing, it doesn't happen until November anyway. So you have an infinite number of nights. And by the time you max it out, because I'm sure you're grinding for it, because that's what a human does, because there's only 2 social links at night, so you're grinding for academics the rest of the time, you're going to have like 3 whole months of nothing. to do at night. So it's fine. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. At 4, in Persona 5, I was in Mementos. And there were not that many night social links in there either. But I don't know. I love when I go to Tartarus, because then I'm wrecking shop, kicking butt, taking names, doing the things. There's cool upgrades you get eventually too, where it makes Tartarus battles more fun. So it's fun. Just shut up. Just shut up. You don't even know how cool.
You're talking about stuff that doesn't make sense.
You don't even know.
Right now, Tartarus is just Tartarus. You go in, there's the red doors, there's the clock, and that's neat. Don't get me wrong, but for me, I'm okay. I'm okay with grinding, but I only like to do it twice, and my daughter only likes to do it 1.5. She likes to do it the first time. She loves to go all the way through. Mm-hmm. Then she only likes to go in until we save the people. Then she wants us out because she wants to do all the, the fun stuff, the day-to-day, the social links, have a great time with everybody. So I got her sitting here next to me, and she's like, Dad, can we just leave, please? And I go, no, we can't. Mm-mm. I got to wait till everybody's SP's gone. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. And twice now she's convinced me to leave before everybody's lost all their SP. And then that bugs me. That starts to bother me. I already went in more than I wanted to go in, and then I didn't even take advantage of it to its full extent. So I'm double sad. I'm double sad right now.
Quick question. You've got the clock door, right? Is what you're talking about with the clock?
Yeah, the one that allows you to up the levels of everybody by like 3, 4, whatever it is, the difference is.
Okay.
And then I've got the red doors, which one of them just goes straight to a boss, and the other does like a whole bunch of levels.
Between the 2 times you have to go in and the clock doors, you're fine. I only had 2 people who were somewhat behind, but by the end, like I said, you have so many nights. I just went in just to go in, just to wrap it up.
Just to kill time.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Well, especially when you get the game-breaking thing where I totally broke the game open. Why not go in and just do that? Just do it.
Well, if I get it. We'll see. Maybe I never get it.
It's possible.
Maybe I never get it. Maybe I never figure it out. Maybe I never make that persona. It's entirely possible. There's a billion personas. So who knows? But I've been playing that, having a good time. We did that over the weekend in the evenings that it was possible to do so. I haven't got a chance this week. It's just been kind of a weird week. Maybe tonight. If not, for sure tomorrow, like 100%. And then other than that, I've been watching anime. Lots of shows. This season's been pretty fun. No like big go-getters. Nothing that's like, oh my God, if I don't watch this, it's the end of the world. But a lot of really solid anime. A lot of just good watch stuff. So I can't complain. It's been a great week. Matt, what about you, E?
It was a weird week for me also. I did not play very many games except for something that I'll talk about later in my weekly D, but I was watching the G1 because they had the block semifinals, block finals, and then the G1 finals. Block semifinals I watched, but all right, cool, that guy's moving on. And I told you last week, Zack Sabre Jr. was leading A block, so he's in the A block finals now. And all right, he's going up against Shingo Takagi. They always have amazing matches together. I'm like, okay, but it could go either way. I don't know. You try and put yourself in like the Booker's headspace. I'm like, traditionally G1, foreigners don't win it. There's only been like one other time in history, so could beat Shingo, but then lose in the block finals. But B block was these 2 guys, so I don't know who they would want to go on from there. He won the A block final. I went, okay, cool, awesome, sweet. Yes, it was an awesome like submission win. Guys crawling for the ropes, scratching and clawing, and the crowd was going nuts for both guys. He won. I went, all right, cool. B block finals. Saw this guy go forward. I'm like, he's probably going to beat him. He's going to beat him in the finals. I know he is. But I got to watch anyway. Another hot match. By the end of it, crowd is going nuts for both guys. You can feel the momentum going back and forth with the crowd chants and everything. Then he wrapped that dude up. When I was sitting there, I had my fist clenched, and I was like, just tap and let my boy win. And he did. And I kicked my feet so hard, my slippers flew off across the room, and I went, holy shit, he did it. Zack Sabre Jr. won the G1. Amazing. Exactly the result that I wanted. Perfect. And a great story. He got the trophy. He got like the big flag that they do. They took it into the crowd, and seeing the Japanese crowd swarm this lanky British dude who's been there for like 10 years. It felt cool. It was a cool moment for him and everybody. And I was like, yeah, awesome. What do I do after that, though? I don't know. I don't want to play games. The book I'm reading right now, it's really rough to get through. I'm almost to the end of it, but it's just like so much bad stuff is happening to these good people who are the protagonists. I'm like, man, I don't even want to sit here and read for 4 hours like I normally would. What can I do? Well, in the Discord, our buddy Generic Tag talked about watching Perfect Blue. And that's an anime from like 1997, I think, which I've known of since 1997. And it's always been legendarily awesome. Everybody says it's so great. It's a movie. And I went, man, I've never watched it. I don't know what to do right now. F it. Where can I find it? Amazon Prime. Rent it for $3. Boom. Sat here, watched it. It was flippin' crazy. It was incredible. It was awesome. I usually don't get emotionally involved in things that I watch. Like I watch movies and I go, that was really cool. But a lot of it I'm not like gritting my fists and going, oh my God, oh Jesus. I did that here. It was incredible. It was great. I can't recommend it to everybody because it is kind of extreme in certain ways that I won't spoil or say anything about, but it's very adult content in it, but not in like in a bad way, but I don't know. So I can't recommend it to everybody, but I recommend it to everybody because it was great. After that, I still didn't want to play games. I still didn't want to read my book. I was in a weird mood, so I watched a TV show called The Curse on Paramount Plus. This is another thing I can't recommend to everybody. And it started off completely strange, like bizarro, weird. Everything was just like, what is going on? Then it got more normal. Then it ended really weird. And like my excitement for it went up and down. Like halfway through, I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to fall off of this. And then by the end, I went, whoa, this is flipping crazy. There's these crazy scenes. And it got weird again in different ways. I won't spoil anything that happens in it. It's a very strange show. Only 10 episodes, though. And some of them are like 30-some minutes, and then some are like a little over an hour. So kind of upsy-downsy. Very strange. Emma Stone is in it, and Nathan Fielder. So if anybody knows those two people, they're in it, and they did a great job. It was a great show, but very strange and very weird. But I'm glad I watched it. And then the only other thing I did, it was Monday night, and if anybody remembers, the local public access station at 7 o'clock p.m. on Monday nights, here's a show called Gameplay, and it's video game music, produced by people up in Interlaken, which is another local thing. And they just play video game music, all kinds of different genres, all kinds of different themes for the show. And I was sitting here, listening to it as I always do, maybe kind of reading my book or playing around online. It was Grammy-nominated video game soundtracks. And one of the songs was from Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. And I've heard bits and clips of the songs here and there, and sometimes they sound really good, and sometimes they sound not quite that great, but I was listening to it and I went, I'm kind of digging this. I'm digging this. And it was free on Epic like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So you know what? I'm feeling it. I'm not really feeling traditional video games. I can't read my book. I'm done with shows right now. I don't know. Do something, though. I literally had to look at myself and go, do something, idiot. So I downloaded it, and I started playing it. I fucking love that game, dude. It is so much fun. It is so fun. The characters are so cool looking and sounding. The music is great. The interplay between the characters, inside and outside the musical, it's so much fun. I just love it. And after every musical scene, I'm just like, yeah, that was great. That was awesome. And it doesn't hurt that Laura Bailey voices the main character, and she's my favorite voice actor, like, ever. She's the boss of the Saints. Everything she's in, I'm just like, yeah, you're the best. And she's the character, and the character is cool, and the interactions she has with the other characters are cool, and those other characters are either really awesome or a really interesting spin on that god or that mythical character. I'm just having a blast with it. I'm playing it in fairly short chunks so I don't just smash through it all at once and go, okay, what can I do? Play it again? I don't know. But I'm loving my time with it. Loving the characters, the art, the music, the everything. It's great. I'm so happy that I've got something that, we say it all the time, you kind of get into a funk here or there, but when you find something that you just want to eat it. Every day you want to come home and just eat that big piece of cake. It feels good. And that's what I've been doing this week.
Man, speaking of eating a big old piece of cake, there's a piece of cake that has been enticing me for the last few days, and I don't know if I can resist because it's looking good, and that is Black Myth Wukong. Came out August 20th, PS5, PC. It will be coming to Xbox, but I'm not sure really when. I knew this game was coming, don't get me wrong, and it looked cool, don't get me wrong, but I didn't have any interest in it. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. You know, it's a Journey to the West kind of sort of tale, has the Souls-like stuff going on for it. Whatever. Not my cup of tea. Not really something I'm going to flock to immediately. Well, it hit, and then I started watching gameplay, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, hot damn. it isn't like Dark Souls. It's kind of more like Stellar Blade, but meets tons of boss fights instead. So in this, you are the monkey man. What's his name? Sun Wukong. There you go. He's similar to that. And you get this whole cutscene in the very beginning of the actual deity, of the actual god, and things happen. You're not him, but you look almost just like him. And people start calling you like the chosen one, the destined one, or whatever. And you go out into the mountains and you start exploring. And the paths that you have, they're closed, but they're open. And it's what I always tell Matt. It's like my perfect world. You feel like it's an open world game, but it's not. You're only kind of going on these chosen paths, but you can branch out a little bit. You can go explore this corner over here, that corner over there, and you might find a treasure chest. You might find some bins that you can break. So with that being said, it's also gorgeous. This game has the ray tracing, has the DLSS going for it if you're on the PC. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Every detail in it is just exquisite and right on the money. The hair, the physics, the lighting, the water, all look just perfect. So when you get that going, you're going to this beautiful jungle environment, and you start meeting these little baddies. In the beginning, it's like wolf people. You start fighting them real easy, no big deal. So you start getting a kind of a swing of things, and then it hits you with like a little kind of small boss. Then you start getting a swing of things with that, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And then you go into your menus, and you have these 3 different fighting styles with your staff, because that's what you're using as a staff, just like obviously the main character back in the story, in the novel did. And you can go like a big old slam. You can go like the more of the thrusting, or like the jumping around kind of finicky battling. And you can pick from those 3. And on top of that, it's got all of your typicals, but you can go down your HP path. You can go down your willpower, or whatever the hell they call it in this game, path, which allows you to do your extra abilities for longer. But anyways, it's got that type of menu system and then ability system going for it. And it just spreads out from there. I mean, it's got just kind of World of Warcraft style. A ton of different menu options and ability options. Well, if you like this, you might want this. This one branches out into 3, then it goes on and goes on. So you can very much customize your character. And then it doesn't stop there, because you also get gear in this game. So you find gear through beating bosses and, just events in the story, but you can also craft gear. And some of that gear, you'll click it, much like Monster Hunter and Worlds and whatnot does. You'll click it, you'll craft something, and then once you crafted it, it goes, oh, you just made the Staff of Wu. Well, guess what? That, if you got the right pieces and parts, can go into these 3 different staffs. Did you go beat this, tiger boss over here? Well, now you can make the tiger boss's staff right here, or you can make the water snake's staff, so on and so forth. The armor, I haven't seen whether it does that or not, but I do know it does do themed armors. So like the water snake does have a set of water snake boss armor you can make. Now on that though, I wasn't sure. I don't think you can repeat these bosses. I'm not 100% on that, but I don't think you can. So I was a little confused. So if you make say you make the staff of the snake boss, does that then take away the parts and now you can't make the armor? So you kind of got to decide whether you want the armor piece or do you want the staff for any particular boss that you get stuff that would do that for? Or is there a way to later on in the game maybe farm that guy or someone similar to him who gives you that same piece and then allows you to equip everything in that whole slot? I don't know. I got to imagine you're going to be able to do everything eventually, because the pieces have set bonuses. Some of them are just single piece. Some of them have like 2 or a 4 next to it. So you have to get all 4 pieces or 2 pieces to then set off that set bonus, which allows you to do whatever the extra perk may be. But all that speaks to me. That's right up my alley. From the World of Warcraft days, Diablo days, so on and so forth. And the combat, like I said, is more like Stellar Blade. It's fast-paced. You're only relying on dodge. There's no parry. So it's all about just dodging and attacking at the right moments. And I hate parrying. Parrying's the worst. So for me, dodging is king. Dodging is God. Always has been. So it's, once again, speaking to me, is like something I really want to do. So I'm so torn. I had no intention of buying this game, but because of the environments, because of the fun combat, because of all the bosses that you encounter, and if you don't know, it's real simple. It goes 2-3 planes of just regular baddies, and then you'll encounter a boss. Then you'll go through, a new character will say something or do something, introduce you to something. You'll go through another area, baddie, then boss. But I'm not kidding you when I say there's a lot of bosses. It's not just one at every level. There's multiples in every zone that you go to. So it's like a boss rush with little intermittent breaks. And they do give you an abundance of healing places, save points and healing places for you to stop at, craft, do whatever you got to do. Basically, after every boss fight, you'll encounter one. Sometimes they'll trick you up with a couple baddies right after a boss fight. So shake it up, get you a little nervous. So if you went in there and used all your heals and you're like, okay, the boss is done. Now I get to save and heal up. Not all the time. Sometimes there's a whole nother little, not boss fight, but a baddie group coming at you that you got to take care of and dispatch. So all in all, very impressed. I love the gameplay of it. I love what it looks like. And I didn't want to buy it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to say no to this game, man. I don't think I can.
Well, one thing that I could say no to is if there's no parrying, then I'm sad because I like having multiple ways of dealing with things.
Mm-hmm.
I do like dodging. Dodging's fun. I like blocking. I like parrying too. But I know I've seen him do a parry ability. It's not just the witch time dodge. I know I've seen it, like with my eyeballs. I know it's happened. So maybe it's a special skill.
I was say maybe
or
it's a
special
skill
gear.
or something.
But then the only other reason that because this looks very cool, and when I watch it, I do definitely want to get it, especially like the big cinematic boss fight stuff that I've seen. It looks really cool. But the only other thing that bothers me, and I know it's just a me thing, but it bugs the crap out of me, that monkey makes too many ooks. There's too many monkey noises when you're fighting. Stop it. I just want to hit stuff with a big stick. I want to dodge it, make the thing go into witch time. I want to parry stuff. I want to have a big cinematic thing. I don't want... And most people I've been seeing have been playing in English, so maybe in Chinese is not that bad, or Japanese, or whatever. I don't know. But it's just, when I watch it, it doesn't start out that way, but after a while of watching, I'm like, shut up with the stupid... I get you, stupid monkey. I get you a monkey. Stop it. Stop making monkey noises. I don't know. It bugs me. It bugs me.
Thought you loved animals. Jeez.
Well, I don't hate the monkey. Monkey's too noisy.
No, he's prejudiced. Matt's prejudiced against the monkey. He don't want the monkey to talk. Be seen, not heard. That's what Matt says.
That's right. I mean, my favorite monkey from the Hear No Evil, See No is the monkey.
Yep. I got it. I understand. Respect.
But we're going to go from the biggest and shiniest graphics and the hottest, biggest giant teams in China that work people to the smallest. Because I'm going to tell you about a game called Arco, which came out on the 15th, and I didn't even know about it until just researching for games for the show. Developed maybe by only 4 people, developed by Frantic, Max Cahill, Babiki, and Fire, and published by Panic for Nintendo Switch and PC. This is a Wild West pixel art, 3 different characters who had run-ins with the Red Company, who is a band of bandits or bad dudes. They've done bad things to each one of you. And as you're going through each character's story, you're kind of roaming all around. And obviously you have an overarching story, an overarching goal you're looking for, but you can spend time in towns and pick up side quests and do all this other stuff. But I tell you, and I say this all the time, you got to see this game in action. You got to look at it, because the pixel art, it's not like finely detailed, super intricate pixel art. It's very, very simple, and the characters on screen are super tiny, but at the same time, there's something really charming about the way the characters look, at least to me. It reminds me kind of Beat Cop, but those characters were like long and skinny and lanky, but they still had that small, very few pixels type of a feeling to them. And this is that like crunched down, like little stubby, crunchy characters. And like the little horse you're riding, it almost looks like a little llama because the pixels are so kind of scrunchy and stretched out. I don't know how to describe it, but the way this game looks really cool. And despite the fact that most characters are made up of just a few pixels, like very small amount of pixels, when you're going to these set piece areas, like when we have this big confrontation with the Red Company or this other character or whatever, it pulls back and you see this beautiful pixel art vista, like that Old West movie type of feel when you see just a giant mountain range in the background and you're just like this little tiny character, like riding up on it. If you've played Westerado, which I've talked about a long time ago now, had that same feel. Westerado did that like in the intros. You were little tiny characters against this enormous pixel art Western swath backdrop. Really, really cool. Now, I've heard the game's pretty funny. There's some fun interactions with side characters and the side quests you're doing. And the main characters have serious quests and quests for revenge and that kind of stuff. But the thing that really hooked me is when you watch the combat. Because the combat, it's turn-based and it's tactical, but you're kind of free-roaming. It's not grid-based, but the thing that's really cool about it is it's not just you move and then the enemy moves. It's you both select your moves and then like the next 3 to 5 seconds play out in real time. So like you'll run up and, oh man, if I want to jump over here and take cover behind a bush, instead of choosing to act, I'll choose to move. You like not really draw, but you draw a little arrow for where you want your guy to go. And then you take that action, you'll scurry here. But while you're doing that, maybe the enemy was getting ready to shoot you where you were. So their bullets will go ping, 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 ping while you're running. And same thing if you're like running up behind an enemy to attack them and you go to swing at them, but their move was to run away from you. Those movements happen at the same time. So you have to plan out and strategize. And some of your characters have good melee stuff. Some are mostly ranged. So if you're going to shoot out like an explosive arrow, you know, you have the little target on the ground of the radius of where it's going to land. But it's got travel time because it goes... And maybe you've got a special move that takes 3 turns to land on the ground. So you really got to plan that out. It just looks so cool and so tactical and so like nitty gritty. We're like, I'm going to start going over here, but I'm going to see him turn, and that's where his gun's going to be pointing. And I know he goes in a 45-degree swath with his minigun going right to left. So when I go over there and he starts ahead of me, I'm going to swing back around and start whooping around. It looks so awesome and so cool. And the other kind of cool thing about it is the story's integrated into the battles. So it's a Western. You can do really nice stuff. You can help out people. You can be really brutal and do evil things too. And that carries over into the actual battles you have in the gameplay. Because if you start doing all kinds of bad stuff, it's kind of like the ghosts of your past come back to haunt you. Like in the battle, these little ghosties will pop up. And they can move even when time is stopped and you're planning your moves. So if you are a cold-hearted, black-hearted bastard, it's going to come back and bite you. And you're going to have way more difficulty in that turn-based action combat. God, it looks so cool. I've heard the music's really good. There's some like really pumping like metal tracks when stuff gets really crazy. Otherwise, you have traditional Western-style music. This game looks awesome. It looks really good. The only bad thing I've heard is that if you play it on Nintendo Switch, and there are only like 2 video reviews on YouTube about this, and only one has mentioned it, so I don't know if it's been patched since that review came out, but I've heard the Nintendo Switch does not run this well at all. You're getting lots of bugs, lots of freezing, lots of frame drops, lots of complete stuttering. The music will get stuck while your battle is still going on. I don't know how that can happen when it's such a simple looking game, but play this on PC. It looks really cool. I want to play Black Myth Wukong, but then I saw this and I'm like, well shit, I want to play that too. Now I'm back in the morass of too many games. I wanted to play no games, then Stray Gods got me. Now Black Myth is here. Now Arco's here. Something else is going to come out next week. I don't even know what I'm going to do. God.
So much, so many good things, and it doesn't stop there because we got a bunch of free things coming at you. And you want to talk about a game that is possibly amazing and possibly great? Epic's got one for you in the guise of the Callisto Protocol. It's an infamous game at this point, a game I wish I could have played, game I wanted to play, and I own, and I've bought, and I still haven't touched. Just so you know, it's from Striking Distance, the folks who did, of course, Dead Space back in the day. And you are a mercenary type figure, a trade kind of guy, and you get involved in some bad stuff, and you go to this planet, and on your way out, they decide they might know too much, we're just going to go ahead and kill all these folks. And by killing them, I mean putting them into the giant prison that's on this moon or planet or whatever. You get there, bad things happen, a lot of monsters appear, and you, Dead Space style, get to go through it, but with no weapons. You melee in this game, meleeing stuff all the way back and forth, and try to get off of this frickin' place so you don't die. And it's dark, it's crazy, it's monsters. It looked really good. Had a lot of promise. I don't know if it's good or not. Didn't get to play it because I never did what I was supposed to do. But it's free now. You can go get it on Epic. Just at this point, if I had just never bought it, I could just go get it now. I wouldn't have never paid for it. But you know what? I don't mind because supporting Striking Distance, supporting them at the time, I was down. I was happy to do it. Even though at the end of the day, Glenn Schofield still left his own company that he made, Striking Distance, and he's moved on to do other things. And now they're doing a little roguelike adventure on that same Iron Prison planet. It's a whole thing. I don't know. But anyways, there you go. Callisto Protocol is one of the games on Epic for free, Matt.
We've heard it a million times. You're never going to play it, so why don't you get on and play Gigantic Rampage Edition?
There you go.
This is that 5-on-5 MOBA style, first-person, big hero action type game. It was around. People loved it. It died off. And then Gearbox is one of the ones who brought it back. And it's weird because I looked on the Epic Store when I added it to my library today. Gearbox is not listed on anywhere on there. So I think that's kind of weird. But they did bring it back. People loved it when it came back. So get on it and play that. And on a similar note, here's a game that I heard middling to mixed things about. I know one of our patrons has played it, and he enjoyed it pretty well. On Game Pass this week, you got Atlas Fallen. That's that game where you're running around in the desert. There's some gods and some weapons and some things and some whatever. But the thing that you and I and everybody knows about it is that 5-second clip you've seen of the guy like surfing on the sand and sliding around in third-person actioning. So get on that. So that was one that actually got me excited because I went, hey, I've always had an interest in at least touching that and checking it out because openish kind of a world with a cool combat system and a cool traversal mechanic. You know I'm all about that. So I'm going to download that to my Xbox and have a great time with it maybe.
Well, Amazon Free Games also has some stuff for you. And let me tell you, the first one, Matt, you're going to be so excited about, Spells and Secrets. You like Harry Potter, right? You love Harry Potter. So imagine you in a school of sorcery, but this school of sorcery has been cursed and doomed, and you're trying to free this school from said curse and doom. And to do that, you've got to use all of your spells and creative ways to solve puzzles and open up different rooms and doors to free other people to get you out of this whole scenario. So it's like a weird Harry Potter meets a puzzle-solving game. That's what it's all about. You want to free the school, and to do that, you're going to use your own spellcrafting abilities to solve puzzles in all the different rooms of said school to break this curse and get out of there. Now, Matt, if you don't know any of the others, all right, we're going to go on. He doesn't know anything. He says, I didn't look at this crap. Kiwi. Well, guess what? You can imagine what it's about. You're a couple of Kiwis, and you work at the Postal Service, and you got to make sure that all the mail gets to where it needs to be, but it's wacky, it's wonky, and while you're there trying to get the letters where they need to go, you've got friends coming in, like ostriches and squids and octopus and whatnot, but they're messing up the day. You got humans coming in and supervising you, and you're trying to jump on all these different levers and all these different buttons to shoot the mail where it needs to go, solve puzzles, do all sorts of random wacky things as two cute little Kiwis. So there you go. If you want a fun, weird, puzzly, jumpy around, have a great time with a bunch of random, wacky, different animals, people, etc., maybe Kiwi is what you want. Then, that's not it. You got Figment 2, Creed Valley. I don't know what that is. Sorry, folks, I didn't see that one. Grime, Definitive Edition, is another one. Didn't see that one either. I have no idea. Go check it out. Go look it up. And last but not least, you got Young Souls. And this one I started to look up, and I was like, what the hell is this? You're going to fight your way through dozens of epic dungeons, hordes of enemies, over 20 fearsome. It's a wonderful little RPG full of action that can be played with 1 or 2 players. Sounded pretty cool, but the show started, and I didn't get to actually watch a video on it. There you go. I know it's an RPG, and I know you get to play with co-op if you want to, and it's got a ton of little dungeons for you to have a bunch of fun in. And a really neat artistic style, too, at least on the cover and the artwork they showcase. So maybe check that out.
I'm not even paying attention because I'm watching Kiwi gameplay right now. I'm like,
it's wild.
This looks pretty cool. Like, I would play this with my friend Gail in California. We would love this kind of game. This looks awesome. But other awesome games you can play, there's a whole batch on Steam right now also. You can get Classic Marathon 2. If you remember, Classic Marathon 1 was available, and I said 2 is coming soon. I think we missed the actual date that it came soon, unless I've mentioned it before. I don't know. Classic Marathon Infinity, though, is also here. This, I think, was the third one that was in that list of games that were coming soon. Boom, it's here. Also this week, you got Distant Space, which I looked up because it sounded promising. I was like, oh man, shooters and space and all kinds of stuff. It is a very, I don't want to say bare bones in a bad way, but it's a very bare bones, lo-fi, almost Space Invaders type of a game. Say Space Invaders mixed with Galaga. So you are going just back and forth on the one plane, but the enemies are coming in and swooping and shooting all over the place. But like I said, very vector graphics, like super low res graphics. Still looks pretty cool. Distant Space 2 has a little better graphics and is only 99 cents. So if Distant Space 1 gets you, why not drop $1 for Distant Space 2? And then we got Weapon of Choice DX. This is a side scroller, kind of in the vein of Contra. All your characters have wacky, cool weapons that help you traverse and do all kinds of damage to enemies. It almost has a Flash game feel to it. So if you're into that, definitely check that out. It looked a little too, like, woggledy-whoopity, like, kind of weird physics-y. But if you want to shoot some enemies, I think this one also has some kind of mechanic where if the enemies grab you and you're about to die, you can do like a last-minute dodge or flip or shoot at them to try and get away. So, I mean, it's free. Why not add it to your library, regardless of whether you like it or play it or who cares? It's free. All this stuff is free. Go and get it and add it. Get it. It's free.
All those games are indeed free, so definitely check them out, or at least get them in your library, so that way on some apocalyptic day in the future, you can play those when all the developers are dead in the world and they can't make new games for you. Just an idea, just a thought. Maybe do that. But you ain't got to worry about it yet, man. Because we just went, and we went to Germany, we flew over there, and we watched this thing called Opening Game Night Live, or whatever the hell it's called. All right, Opening Night Live. You know, just a better name would be better. You know, maybe. Opening Night Live at Gamescom. Yeah,
Gamescom Opening Night Live. It's fine. It's fine. You just got to say it in the right order. No.
That doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
That's why Jeff Keighley only says, "Welcome to ONL, guys." I'm like,
and then leaves and says nothing else. And then the one lady who hosts, which she does a good job, don't get me wrong, but it is so weird. Hosted by Jeff Keighley. No, it's not. He just says, "Hello, everybody. We've got games for you." And then he walks away.
I mean, he's there half the time. Yeah. But I was very excited because I know she's been there before, but I don't think she's been there since I got into League of Legends watching the LEC, because she does half to 95% of their broadcasts for the LEC. Like, she's the host on the panel, throwing to all the interviews and doing all that stuff. So it was very cool to see Shox like on a big thing, even though LEC and World Championships, she does all that, and that's way bigger than this.
Big stuff too, yeah.
But like, to me, this was like, oh my God, there she is. Cool, hooray. I don't know. I liked it. I'm going to start off with the pre-show, because I know you didn't watch that pre-show.
No, I didn't watch the pre-show. I never watched pre-show. It was that boring dude who's purposely boring. I get it. It's a stick, but I just can't do it.
I will say, though, this time he wasn't too bad. I think they got the memo that having too much of him is way too much. But he is that guy. He is that guy. I got out my computer glasses and everything. But he didn't have quite as many extended bits. But he threw to a bunch of trailers. There was a ton of stuff. Everything we talk about, there's going to be a million more things. So definitely go check it out. But in the pre-show, for me, it stood out more Dave the Diver add-on content. There were like 2 with content creators or characters from other games that I did not know, wasn't familiar with. But in the middle of those 2, he meets up with a different character and starts playing Balatro. Like, the entire game is there, but on the side, you have the different characters talking to each other. Blew my mind. Another game they showed off was called Begone Beast, which is a 4-player co-op, but you're kids, or like anthropomorphic animal kids, and you're like in a big haunted house, and there's all kinds of crazy monsters chasing you. You're beating up zombies and all kinds of stuff. Looked cute, looked fun. Just, I don't know, 4-player co-op, going through fighting big bosses and fighting little enemies. What's not to love about that? There was a game called Nico Derico, which looked like Donkey Kong Country or Super Lucky's Tale. 3D platformer, sort of cutesy, but not super, super cutesy, but definitely Donkey Kong Country style, because you grabbed like the N-I-K-O to spell out Nico, and you got stuff. And going through collecting all the little collecty bits, it was exactly like the bananas. You had animal familiar friends you could ride on. It was Donkey Kong Country, so if you want some Donkey Kong Country, check that out. Revenge of the Savage Planet had an awesome trailer. That's the one that looks just like High on Life and has like that same kind of sarcastic attitude to it. Check that out. Tribe 9 was a Danganronpa visual style character action game, maybe, but it looked like a roguelike. There was some kind of weird thing going on behind it. And then you might have seen this one at least because you're a horror game guy. Directive 8020, a Dark Pictures game, far future, in space, scary, horror, and then there's like body snatchers type stuff because you're watching the main character lady. She's running.
Yeah, it was the chick, the female. Okay, yeah.
At the end, there's the evil version of her is going to come fight her, and then you see other people with like mutated faces and getting corrupted. It looked pretty cool. Not my kind of game, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that one I did see, but I saw it post just from some other site, saying that was bad and mamma jamba. I agree with you. That one did look really cool. And of course, to get into the main show, right in the beginning, they did it. They revealed Borderlands 4. And of course, we went and looked at that trailer. I watched it about, 15, 20 times. Went and watched some post stuff to see what I could find, what secrets there were. Well, first off, it opens up with the ending of Borderlands 3. Lilith uses her ability to move planets. She goes out there and takes Elpis, the moon, and gets it out of Dodge. And it shows you the moon going through her whole big magic. All of a sudden, it's in a whole different place. It starts slamming through what looks like ice particles or some kind of weird shield, crystallized shield. And then it shows you this brand new planet with these weird buildings on the side. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of meteors or whatever start flying down. And then it shows you through the eyes of some unknown creature, which walks up. There's a psycho mask sitting there, and this creature bends down to pick it up. Immediately, it looks like the Iridian's hands. So this is probably us going to their actual home planet, or wherever the hell they're from, and we're going to go infest or invade them, or do whatever it is that's happening. But here's the kick, Matt. Here's the kick. Who the flip are we playing as?
Right.
Who are we going to play as? Because I thought, oh hell, this is easy. Since Elpis is being transported, it's going to be all Janie, and it's going to be Athena, and it's going to be all the crew from the pre-sequel.
Go be Davis Pickle.
Yeah, but oh no, because we storied those yahoos into different places, and they were on Pandora. So unless they magically got back onto Elpis in between, now we're going up with a whole new cast and crew. And I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the story has its characters now. Like, we have the people, we have the pieces in place to make this happen. I was kind of hoping it would just be people within that world, and we just continue on and not be another whole new set of characters again.
And I 100% agree with that, and it perfectly solves the issue that I was going to mention, because I watched it a few times, and then I watched the people's reaction videos to it, and they're like, yeah, we're going to take the fight to him, but man, it really feels like in the last couple games, because, you know, you played Lilith and the gang in the first game, and then in the second and third, they're a driving force for getting stuff done. But you, the player, your character, are just it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto 3. You're a guy who's just there to do the muscle so they can do the things. Same thing, if you're a brand new bunch of characters, why do you care about taking the war to the Iridians? Who are you? I feel like it would be really nice if you have all these cast of characters, maybe you're playing as Janie Springs, or Athena again, but her skill trees are reworked, or you're playing as goddamn Lilith, or somebody who has like an actual reason to be doing this, because it feels weird to new Vault Hunters. She's taken your moon, and you were there looking for something, but now you're here, so hey, come on with me. I'm Lilith. I'm the Firehawk. Who are you? You don't mean anything to new characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I'm 100% agree, but that, because I always thought in my head that when this was going to be the final one, you know, like the finale of this story, you're going to be able to be a ton of different characters. They were
Like
going to have
8 or
like
12
9,
different
10 or
ones.
something
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you to choose from. And that got me excited. And then another small part of me was really hoping they were going to tie Battleborn in and have these planets you go to where you're going to see creatures from the Battleborn universe or something. I obviously not be Battleborn, but throw it in because they had such a large story built there. But obviously it's just looks like it's just the Iridians, which is fine because they did say that you're eventually going to go to war with them back in the pre-sequel. So they're just kind of following through with what they said, which I appreciate. But at this point, we don't have a clue who we're going to be playing as for our characters. There's some speculation that there's going to be another siren that comes into play here, you know, along with Lilith, since Lilith lost her powers, came back, or whatever the case may be. There's all sorts of stuff flying out there. I don't really know. But then at the very, very end, when it was doing the transition from the words and stuff, you got an image that had a Borderlands symbol across the face. It didn't look like Jack, but where the Borderlands symbol goes through is the exact spot where it goes through Jack's face. So there's a lot of speculation that somehow Jack's coming back in some way, shape, or form for this, which part of me is excited about because he's amazing. And Handsome Jack was always a great character, always fun whenever he was a presence in the pre-sequel and 2, etc. But at the same time, he's dead. What kind of weird craziness are you going to try to come up with the reason him back in this again? So at the end of it, I'll take it as long as you make it make sense. But a part of me is also like, are you just grasping here? You know, trying to bring Jack back who everybody likes just because? I don't want it to not make sense. That's all.
And that's what I would feel like if they did that. Like, I saw that, and I'm like, please let that just be like a flash of something really cool Borderlandsy that everyone can go, oh, and then have him not really be in it, or like, he was trying to do a thing way back in the past, and these are the results of that, and not he's there. Not somehow Handsome Jack has returned. Because I feel like so many franchises do that. Borderlands 2 is great and awesome, and then we got pre-sequel, which you saw him beforehand. I'm kind of done with him. Like, he's great, and if it happens, great, I'm sure I will enjoy it. But like, let's make new stories and new characters. I don't need to be running around with Lilith every single game either. Just, you know what I'm saying. Just move on. Make a new thing.
The Lilith what I get, though. They've made her, she's the queen bee. She's the focus of this story. She's the one who's going to save everybody somehow, some way. But I also agree with you that I want some freshness, but I want it to make sense. But I just felt like character-wise, we had enough characters to pull from to be this time around to have a great time. Because I'm worried that it's going to be that generic, all right, you're in a whole nother planet with a whole nother solar system and a whole nother universe. So there's the new Siren, there's the new gun guy, there's the new robot who's crazy, there's the new this character. Come on, we got a lot of awesome characters that I've grown to love over the years. Let's use them.
But if you have to bring everybody back, then it's going to be super anticlimactic. Oh man, where'd Lilith go? In about 5 minutes, she's going to go, poof. Hey guys, come on, round up, let's go. Poof.
True.
And then just poof away. There's nobody who could be there other than people who were on Elpis, who are probably obviously super dead. So how's any of that going to work? I don't know. But I will say, in the Discord and online conversations, people are talking about not really digging the story, and I agree with that. But when I think about Borderlands, I think of skill trees and action skills and shooting and looting and fun.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that stays good, I will be excited and I will play it. I don't know, I feel like it's so weirdly upsy-downsy. But I love playing Borderlands. I love running around with Mr. Beef and Flack. You know, having your journey with those characters is also fun too.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I'll be playing the hell out of this game. I enjoy Borderlands for what it is. I'm just really hoping that they just tie it all together. That's all I want. I just want everything tied together and for it to all make sense. And bring it home. You know what I mean? Just bring it home. That's all I want out of it.
So what else we got on Gamescom Opening Night Live? I will say it was pretty front-loaded for me, and then the back I started falling off until like the last few things.
Well, I can tell you, I'll just jump in real quick with the Persona Reload Aegis. They revealed that you get a Joker boss, from Persona 5. Neat. Nothing crazy. They've done this in the past. But I was still like, oh, cool. I get to fight a Joker. And from the looks of it from the trailer, he's extremely difficult. So that'll be a fun boss to get to once you've overpowered yourself like Matt always does with all your crazy personas. Maybe he'll present a challenge. Who knows?
Maybe so. There is a challenge boss in the base game that I never did beat, but you need a very specific persona to do that. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what this is about. I know there's a time loop involved because they literally say that in this trailer, but I won't say anything else about what happens at the ending of the base game. I'll just go on to say some things that I know Eric won't be talking about. Monument Valley 3. This is a mobile game, and it's one of the only mobile games I've ever played and really enjoyed. This is a perspective-based puzzler where you're like moving parts of the level, but they move in ways that are very strange. It's like an M.C. Escher painting. Like if you rotate the stairs, even though they wouldn't physically work in the real world, as long as the perspective works, you can still go down the stairs the way that you shouldn't be able to. It's really cool. You have to see it and like touch it physically with your finger on your phone to get it. So I'm excited to see that because Monument Valley 1 and 2 are some of the only mobile games I've ever bought and played and enjoyed. And seeing another one, why the hell not?
Yeah, looks like fun. And then No More Room in Hell too, man. That looked like a lot of fun. I don't know. I've been in the mood for just a really... That's why one of my releases a couple weeks ago or whatever was another just shoot-'em-up zombie demon-type game. This one caught my eye because it's that very same thing. Mass waves of undead. You go along. You're trying to stop them. You're shooting, having a good time. There's nothing much to be said about it, but that it looked good, felt good, just watching it. And going to keep my eye on it. Maybe this will be something to pick me up and, keep me interested when I'm having those funks or it's kind of in between games that are meaty and taking too much time.
Same thing with the next thing I'm going to talk about, which I've mentioned before, but Lost Records Bloom and Rage. We got a big story trailer on that one. This is that game from Dontnod. You're a bunch of teenagers who form a band like in the 90s, and then something happens because two of the characters are meeting up years and years afterwards, like an It situation. I found this thing from our band that we did back in the 90s, but what the hell's inside this thing? And oh man, something happened. It feels like a smaller game, but I played and fell in love with Life is Strange True Colors. It has that same kind of vibe as Stray Gods. A little tight group of friends who are charming and funny, and you'll pick your favorite and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. The trailer looked really cool. We've had some theme trailers before, and this one was actually like a little bit of meat to stink your teeth into. So
is it just me, or are you as well getting like, what the hell with Arc Raiders? Arc Raiders was a game I was super interested in back when it gave that OG trailer. The music was just, I don't know, I was really vibing with it. Came off real alien, real strange, otherworldly. And then they did another little scoop this time around, but showed nothing. Just showed them existing. And it was like, oh, I want loot and I want to find things too. But so does this person. And then they stand up and they look like they're going to have like a little show off maybe or something. But it still never explains what this game is. Is it a PvE, PvP? Is it a PvP, PvE? You know, I don't know all the nomenclatures these days, but I want to know what this game is. Is there an actual reason to play this, or is it just going to be you battling some kind of extraction fighter game or something weird? But that's not what it looked like from the first trailer. It looked like there were actually aliens and issues and things happening besides other players that you were handling. I would love to play a cooperative PvE game with maybe a PvP element or something at the end, kind of like Division's Dark Zone, but a little bit softer than that maybe. But it's not telling me. So I'm starting to get to that point where like I'm just going to lose interest because I don't know what the hell you're trying to be right now, and you're not telling it to me. So Arc Raiders, Matt, I don't know.
See, I don't know too, because I didn't write this one down, so I had to go and look it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the trailer. You just talked about one. This shows me nothing. Went back and watched the reveal trailer. That game looked amazing, but that was from 3 years ago now.
Years ago.
Yeah, well, they're blowing like limbs off these giant robots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this now. I am hyped, and then I'm sad that they're not showing this because that looks amazing right
now
there.
they're making it look like it's a PvP game or something. And I'm like, it looked like it was going to be a cooperative game.
Like a Helldivers type of thing.
Now it looks like you're going to be a PvP game. I don't know what you are. What are you trying to be? Are you changing? I don't know. I wish it would show me, because whoever's making those trailers does a great job with the music and the tone and the setting and just the feel and vibe of it. But I don't know what the game is, so we'll see.
And I'll give you two. Well, one may be a little bit on Eric's radar, but the other one I definitely know is not. I'm going to start with the one that's not. Floatopia. This is that game where you're little chibi characters on this floating world. It looks like Animal Crossing. It looks like Harvest Moon. And for some reason, I don't know why, I don't like chibi characters, but that one just put me in that Animal Crossing vibe, which I haven't been in for like a year and a half. Hanging out with little characters, and building up my little town and doing all my little stuff. But way back at the start, there was a trailer for King of Meat, which was like a 4-player co-op dungeon crawler, but it was also at a game show, so it's feeling sort of like Fall Guys, because you're bouncing and jumping around on all these traps and like hitting these jump pads, and there's big old swinging axes and stuff, and then you're having like a 4-player brawling, cutesy brawling, like Fall Guys type of brawling against big dragons and boss type stuff. Didn't look like, a system seller or game changer, but it looks like something fun that I would pick up. And I liked the trailer, where it was Jeff Keighley getting dropped into this weird, brutal game show and just getting his ass kicked. It was great.
That sounds like a lot of fun, Mr. Matt. And also, Path of Exile 2 looked like a lot of fun. I didn't play part 1. I'm a Diablo guy myself. But this trailer came out and it hit. I mean, those bosses and just that grinding, that was looking phenomenal. Graphically looked great. Just the presentation of it all was looking fantastic. If you like Diablo-like games, Path of Exile 2 is looking like a surefire play. And the best part is it's free to play. Now, the only thing I'll say is that Path of Exile 1 was way more in depth. You had to really nitpick your skills and go to town with that kind of thing. I imagine 2 is going to be much the same, but with obviously current day graphics and looking great. I was very excited to see it. And then another quick one, Reanimal. It's from the folks who did Little Nightmare 1 and 2. I feel it's so crazy because I watched these 2 trailers backwards because I was distracted when Reanimal hit, and then Little Nightmares 3 trailer hit. So I watched Little Nightmares 3 trailer, and then I watched Reanimal's trailer. And don't get me wrong, Little Nightmares 3 looks good too. Looks fantastic. But it's night and day difference. You can tell who did Little Nightmares 1 and 2 in Reanimal. It's like it was sinister. It was scary. It was just, it was nasty. I went, they just have that vibe nailed down. And the fact that they're making just a Little Nightmares game, but not called Little Nightmares, it really sucks for the devs who are probably working extremely hard on Little Nightmares 3 because they're not going to be able to do it as well as peeps are doing Reanimals. Either way, both trailers really good, Matt. And if you're into that, I definitely recommend you pay attention and watch both. Especially the Reanimal, because that was some dark, crazy crap. I might even pick that one up since it's kind of new, a new storyline. I can start fresh since I never played 1 and 2. And then went back and watched Little Nightmares, a gameplay video all the way through. But I want to do it myself. So I'm definitely paying attention to those.
The 2 Matt level games here. Civilization 7 got a big show off. I did watch the narrator reveal trailer afterwards, and it's Gwendolyn Christie who did Brienne of Tarth.
Mm-hmm.
It fit perfectly. And the game looks so goddamn gorgeous. Like, I remember playing Civ 5, and you could zoom in on your buildings and it looked okay. Like, they were pretty small when you zoomed in. This was like zoomed in, and you could like see your civilizations, your towns, your this, your that. The only thing I feel is weird is with all that super detail on the cities, the units outside the cities are the size of the cities, and it looks very strange. When it's still that weird kind of zoomed out in Civ 5 and 6, it seems right. Here it feels very wrong, but the graphics look amazing. And I love Civ. Like I said, I've played Civ 5 so much that I woke up and saw the units moving on my pillow. So I kind of want to get back into a Civ. And then just one that's real quick. The trailer, I guess, did show off stuff new, but for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, they showed off the release date. They had a Nolan North introducing you to the game type of trailer. But the thing that breaks my heart, it's coming for free on Game Pass. Everybody knows that. They said that there. If you have Game Pass, you just get to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they also announced the collector's edition with a big old steel book and an indie journal and a this and a that. And then you get a globe. And I've wanted a globe since I was a kid because having a globe seemed cool. And you have like a little magnetized plane you can move around, and then you do something secret and it opens up, and you have like a secret compartment inside your globe too. You're making me want to spend money for something even though I'm going to get it for free. So I was sad. And the trailer didn't show off a lot, but it was a good trailer. Got a release date. But man, I want that globe, dude. I want to get it. But I don't want to get it. I can get it for free, but I could pay money. Oh man.
I got a confession. I'll make it brief. They're losing me in this game. I don't know, I find myself falling out of love with it the more and more I see of it, and I don't want that to be the case. These people think Wolfenstein, beloved to me. I love it. But I don't know. I just saw the trailer and I went, this seems kind of, I don't know, it just seems okay. It's not what I'm looking for from them. And it might be amazing. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to get it, but it's not what I wanted.
And I think the weird thing is they showed a bunch of stuff that we've seen already.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last trailer we saw was on the ship in the frozen ice, and you got the bad guy talking.
Comes in, grabs you.
Yeah. And here they just showed all the stuff they showed in previous initial release trailers. Like, it didn't show anything new other than maybe like a little bit of puzzling. I need to see like an action scene in a Jeep or something, some kind of other big action other than just, it's the whip.
I need real, because that's my problem with it, is I feel like it's the combat they're showing, it feels stiff, not janky, but I want to say janky, but just, it doesn't feel fluid. It doesn't feel real. It feels like it's, now do your whip mechanic. He's been whipped. Now do your shoot mechanic. You have shot him. Do you run to the west or the east? Run. Now a boulder has come upon you. Run. I almost feel like we're going back to that type of game. Like, I don't know, that's just the vibe I'm getting from it. So I'm like, that's not what I was hoping for. I was really hoping for a fast-paced Indiana Jones adventure. Yes, there's puzzles. No, duh, I get it. But they're quick. You're thinking on your feet. You're moving, you're grooving, you're going through things. You're actually beating the hell out of baddies, Nazis, etc. And I'm not feeling the vibe that that's the case.
And it feels weird because they had this at the end of the show. And at the beginning of the show, you had Call of Duty, which
was crazy fast-paced.
Boom, punching and throwing the guy into a vat of hot fryer oil. And then you're going out on a motorcycle and jumping and doing the things.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff you want to see here. But I will say I do appreciate that they said you get these big-ass open environments. And I love that. Exploring, puzzle solving. Well, we've talked about the optional puzzles where you can go and find clues to things that you don't even need to find, but you can find them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad they threw that in there. But just like you, I need to see faster action, more action, maybe even just like a 30-minute in an open world type of puzzle thing. Even just that.
Yeah, just give me what's going on. So we'll see. Hopefully I turn completely around to that and tell you I'm an idiot later on. 2 quickies for me, which I won't talk about, guys and gals. Monster Hunter Wilds was in there. I'm going to be gushing about that. I might talk about a different episode because they also released like an entire hunt, like an hour's worth of gameplay of it. So I want to elaborate some more on that at a different date and time. And the other quickie that I won't elaborate on is, of course, Diablo Seeds of Evil was all up in there. Vessels of Hatred, Seeds of Evil. I'm thinking of Turok. I'm in Turok mode, Matt. Jeez, oh Pete's. But no, Diablo 4's Vessel of Hatred, they came out and talked about the mercenaries a bit, kind of introduced the whole vibe of that. So stoked. I cannot wait for that. That's such a boon to the game that you're going to be able to have these mercenaries you attach to your team. They just help you out. Because a lot of people like me, we don't have friends. I don't have friends. So, it's just me and the NPC mercs now. And I like it, and I love it. I can't wait to get in there. In fact, I've been itching to load it back up and start now so I can get my sailing feet back before it hits come October. So we'll see how it goes. But those two fantastic games. Glad to see them here for sure.
Two more Matt things. Starfield, it's got an update that I think is live right now where you get a buggy and you get to zoom around with Vasco in the back seat talking crap about how badly you're driving. And then they showed off not even anything more but a reminder that Shattered Space with the Varun is coming at the end of September, I think it was. And every time I see Starfield, especially with the updates they've been putting out, cruising around a planet with Vasco in the backseat of my buggy, that would be flippin' amazing. Like, I love Starfield, even just the slow run to the points of interest. But now, I don't need to slow run if I don't want to. I can just jump in the buggy with my buddy Vasco and be doing stuff. Then the other one, which makes me sad, because it looks cool, but it's only for MetaQuest 3, Batman Arkham Shadow. It looked pretty damn good. Not as good as, like, my favorite Batman Arkham games, but it looked way better than I thought it would. And I'll never play it because I'm never going to get a MetaQuest 3, but it looked good.
That did look really cool, but I got a PSVR 2, not a MetaQuest. So we'll see how that all plays out in the future. My last one of the night, Matt, for me, is the secret level.
Yep.
Or secret level, whatever you want to call it. The Love, Death, and Robots peeps. And now they're going to be making a series based off games. And you saw Mega Man in there. You saw all sorts of characters in there. You saw Ghost of Tsushima in there. Kratos, yeah. And Pac-Man was in there. And I'm like, it's just a shoe. And it's a dead ringer right there. I got so excited. I cannot wait till December, man. I am so stoked to watch this.
I expected absolutely nothing. Like, the guy giving this speech and how passionate he was about video games, I'm like, cool. But I'm not a TV show guy. I don't like watching shows. I'm going to watch it and go, that'll be cool, and then we'll watch it drunk on a St. Patty's Day. But then I watched the trailer and I went, holy shit, there's Mega Man. There's Ghost of Tsushima. There's Kratos. There's this, there's that, there's the other thing. And I feel like that's the perfect way to do it. I don't know how long the episodes are. Maybe they're an hour each. I don't know, maybe 90 minutes. But you can tell impactful chunks of those stories. And that'll mean something to people who've played those stories. And if it's a game you're not interested in, well, it's only an hour, and you get to watch it, and you get to see the love that they have for that genre, or that game, or that whatever. I expected nothing, and I was blown away. We didn't see a ton, but I went, yeah, that's what I want. Just shovel that right into my mouth. Give me that right now.
Yeah. He said in his whole spiel that they fucking love video games, just like they love other stuff, and that they wanted to do what all the gamers have always wanted was, can we just get, instead of a 2-minute cinematic, can we get a whole episode that's a cinematic, based off characters and whatnot that you love in the gaming community. And they said that's exactly what they did. And they hope that we love and appreciate it too. And I tell you, I've watched Love, Death, and Robots, the previous seasons they've done. Some of them aren't up my alley, but they're all gorgeous. They're all really well told. And I can't see any reason this isn't going to just be phenomenal as well. So can't wait.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Great way to end out our discussion on Gamescom Opening Night Live. But like we said, there's so many other things that they talked about that we didn't even mention. I got stuff written down that we don't even have time to mention. And then they had after the fact stuff.
Indie game.
Yeah. They had all kinds of stuff after the fact. So go check that out. Let us know what we've missed, what you're excited for, and let us know the answer to Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner, because I don't care if we're going like 4 hours long. I'm still going to get my shit in, as they say. If you remember last week's question, released for the Sega CD peripheral to the Mega Drive in 1992, which full-motion video game has the Protector protect Kelly Med and others using traps and security cameras? The answer was Night Trap, the very infamous game. This week's question, I feel like, Eric, you'll probably get this one. I don't know. I would have had no clue.
Don't say this stuff, because then you make me nervous, and then I feel like I'm an idiot when I don't get it. Stop it.
This is from a game I know you've played and loved, though. So, all right, I won't say it anymore. Question. Which opponent must Sora face in the Platinum match of the Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts?
Oh,
there you go. See, I knew Eric would get it. I even got a new app to score keep, but it's been a week, so I don't know if I can even find it. Where's it at? Where's that app at? There it is. And boom, Eric's up to 6 points. Look at him go.
Yes. Hero.
So if you know the answer to that question, or anything else, questions, comments, concerns, if you just want to say hi, send it to us via the email thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @ThirdShiftME, find us on Facebook under Third Shift, hit up the Discord, hit up the Patreon, hit up the stream if I'd stream this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be loud or not. I don't have any idea. hit up my house, write me a letter, send me a carrier pigeon, shoot an arrow into my front door with a note on it. That's how you should do it.
You could do that, but I'll tell you what, arrows are pretty expensive. So if you got the money to buy an arrow, you should probably head over to Patreon and just throw it our way instead and throw them few bucks our way so that way you get extra episodes, all sorts of fun stuff, and we get the support needed to keep the lights on, pay the bills over here, so that way the internet has the sweet, sweet, sweet benefit of having our voices on it. All right? So I'm just saying, if you got money for arrows, head on over there and give it to us instead. And don't shoot arrows into Matt's door because it might go through and kill him. And then we got problems. So don't do that. All right? Do the other thing instead. But if you got no money for arrows and you got no money to give us on Patreon, that's fine. You can go over to Twitch. You can watch Matt play games. You can throw us your Prime sub over there. You can say, I can go to iTunes. You can give us 5-star rating and reviews. You can go, hey, I got a question. I'm going to put it in the mail, game pack. Blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, a mailbag question comes our way. Hey, we're happy. Woohoo. Hey, you can go join Discord. Hey, my name's Booger Boogie, and I'm your friend. I want to talk about things, and we'll talk about things. You can do all that stuff. That supports us. We love it. You'll love it. We'll all have a great time together.
And I will say one thing real quick. You have 6.5 points because you got a half point, but it doesn't do halfsies. So I had to put that next to your name. You're Eric 0.5, and you have 6 points, so you have 6.5. And the other thing I was going to say, and we didn't mention it on the show, the next episode is going to be dropping on the 29th of August on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, and on YouTube, and all that stuff like I always say. That is on the verge of Gearbox's PAX West Conference Showcase Bagoo Zoo. And they even said, we're actually not going to fully show off Borderlands 4, though. That's going to be some other time. So maybe, just maybe, since it's the day after the next show, we'll have to get into that moth-eaten, alligator-ravaged, wild boar-destroyed canoe and get a paddle going.
Let's get out there.
I don't have any ideas right now. Like, what could they possibly talk about? They don't do anything anymore.
It's
over. No, that's banned from the show. You're not allowed to say.
I know, or I'm not allowed to say it. That's why you got to bleep it out now.
That's it. It's done.
You have Steve all wild now. He's going, what did you say? What did he say? What's in the box?
But hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, review, comment, subscription, any kind of good thing on any of those good services because it does help us out. We really do appreciate it. We're running along. We're having a great time. And we're here for you gamers. Yeah, gamers. That's how we do it.
You gamers. And you know, speaking about what's in a box, what's in a pot, man? What's in the pot? Because if you don't give me those 5-star reviews that I've been talking about, I got something growing in this pot. A dark something, a little something. And I'm going to mail it out to one of you if you don't give me a 5-star review. I'm just going to pick one at random. And somebody's getting a little box with a pot in it, with something in it. So you know what? If you don't want somebody to be sad or happy, and you know it ain't happy, then you might want to start giving those 5-star reviews. Just saying.
I forgot about the pot. I completely forgot about it. Well, because we did the episode in a weird time. Yeah. But hey, until next time, until the pot gets sent out, until the pot gets thrown away because you gave us a 5-star review, there's nothing else to say but don't forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.